but I think this is also for the general public, everyone else. We are taught from a very young age that going to university is the only way we can succeed in life. I understand that this could be relevant for people who live in developing countries, but for us who are living in Europe or in the UK, for example, I think it's such a narrow-minded way of bringing up children or young people, making them believe that if they don't enter university, they're going to fail in life. We've got so many options to succeed without actually having to go to university. You can still continue your education in a different way without needing to go to university. I'm not saying that university is a bad idea and that young people shouldn't thrive or trying to enter university. I think it's good for certain career paths. For example, medicine, law, probably engineering, teaching perhaps. Then you can go to university and your money is worth, the debt is worth going into debt for those career paths. However, many career paths, there is no reason whatsoever that young people should be pushed to get into university. Another thing is, the thing about university is that universities are very, very academic path to go towards your career. It's all about the paperwork and understanding and the legal things and all that stuff behind any career that you want to follow, but you don't get the practice behind it. And we also know that not every person is academic. Most of us we learn by actually doing things and not just sitting there in a lecture and listening to the lecture telling us things, or constantly reading. University requires a lot of research, a lot of reading, and some people are just not very good at that. It requires a lot of essay writing and dissertation writing, and the people were not good at that at all. So when we put into young people's heads that if you don't go to university, that's it, your life is over and you're not going to be successful, we're limiting their abilities to succeed in life. Most rich people in this world, I'm not even talking about the billionaires, I'm just talking about rich people, the millionaires and stuff, they've never actually stepped into university. So the pure belief that the only way that we can succeed in life is through going to university is such a narrow-minded and belief, and it limits a lot of people, because when you fail, then what? Young people are led to believe that if I fail at university, then that's it, my life is over, I can't do anything else, when the truth is far from that. We've got colleges, we've got vocational courses that we can take. There's also like apprenticeship, which is, work-based practice, and you also learn through that. I would encourage parents to help their children or young people, in their family, not just parents. I think teachers in schools and colleges should start advising young people in the other options that are available out there for them. Getting a job through, for example, there are many jobs out there where they like to hire younger people, at 18, 19 years old. They hire them at that age so they can mold them to the way they want, this young person to develop in their company. So, learning by practice and earning some money and studying at the same time is not a bad way to do things. I think it's actually one of the greatest ways you can encourage young people to get into professions. You can learn while, you can do your course while you work as well. And having that option is so great for young people, because at the end of their course, of their time, of their learning and practicing, at the same of studying and practicing, At the same time, they get to have a very well-paid job at the end of it. Whereas for many young people leaving university, not only are we left with a huge debt, in the beginning of our life, which is very, very daunting, very scary. You leave uni and suddenly you've got all this huge debt, but you also struggle to get jobs in the field that you've studied because you've not had experience. It's well known that employers, they rather employ people who've had experience and very little study, but they've had experience working in a certain field, than hiring qualified university degree, like qualified young people. So it's not quite like a win thing for young people. I'm not saying don't go to uni, but you have to consider the courses that you're taking as well. Is it value for money, for example? If many jobs that are out there, they are available, they've got, you can get qualification through your job while you grow in the company. Why should you go and spend so much money studying for something and then struggle in the beginning of your new life, of your adult life, to get to where you actually wanted to be, where you thought you would be once you finish university? We're led to believe that once we finish university, straight away we go into the field or the job that we want to, very well paid jobs, when that is being less and less true in this day and age. And it's just not worth it. I'd rather young people went into apprenticeships kind of jobs where they learn while they're young, and you're learning and you're working at the same time and you're earning some money. And by the time you're done with your course, you've got really great experience and you've got the qualification to go ahead in the world and, apply for other job, and you can earn the money that you desired, that you wish for, because you've got the experience as well as the education. So there's a lot of, for example, we know about millionaires. We've got, for example, Richard Branson, Simon Cowell, Lord Alan Sugar. They've never stepped into university. They learn from, my apologies. Very sorry about that. Sorry about that. That was not meant to happen. My apologies. But anyways, so I was saying, we've got these very famous millionaires out there who learn in their jobs. They never went to university, So perhaps for young people and parents, teachers in schools and colleges, I think and the government as well, the government pushes young people to go to university and make them feel like that's the only path they can follow to be successful in life. I think we should definitely start looking at other options and encouraging more young people to take those options, and not feeling like not putting them under pressure for to go to university. And also, one thing that there's been research throughout the years that a lot of courses that are out there at university, there's just no need to be there. You can go to the career, for example, courses in arts and, arts, for example, journalism, studying media and stuff. You go to university and you don't need to actually go to university to study those. You can finish in college and trying to get a job within the media industry, and you work your way up from there. But then, we're not told about this. It's very, very scary. University fees are getting higher and higher. Last I checked, had gone up to £9,000 a year or something like that. So by the time we finish, on top of that, there's the living expenses as well that we borrow from the government. So by the time you finish your course, you're already 23 to 25 grand in debt. So what's the point of a young person with so much life and energy and ready to tackle the world? You know, what's the point of bringing them, just starting your life with such a huge debt? And you do that. There's a huge competition into getting to good jobs. No jobs just hires students, you know, fresh from university, like that, with a good payment out there. Usually, if you do get a job, you start from a very, very low level and with very, very low payments, and then it's like you have to work your way backwards. And another thing is, a lot of people go into uni to study a course, and then by the time they graduate, because they're struggling to get into the field that they studied, they have to go into another field. They end up not working on the field that they spend so much money and investing in. You know, so perhaps we can start thinking, you know, and giving young people more ideas, really searching for placements where you can learn and earn money at the same time. You can work and, you know, you can learn and have your work experience at the same time. So by the time you're done with your studies, you can have the experience as well as the qualification. So there's the City and Guilds vocational reach list. This you can find it online on the internet online, where it shows a list of many rich people who just did courses in college or while working within a company, and they grew from there and started their own business. They had the confidence to start their own companies, and they're now very, very rich for running their own business. I'm not saying that everyone, you know, who doesn't choose the path of going, you know, the path of university will become a millionaire, but I'm just saying that it's not a bad thing, and that we should stop making young people believe that that's the only option that they have to have a successful life. You know, for example, I've been doing a lot of research on this particular subject, and, you know, I found that there are many colleges that offer, young people should look into their colleges and, you know, see what courses they offer for adults, you know, once you've gone past the 18, 19-year-old age stage, and you have to go into adult education, which will be more like university level. They have all these courses which are actually go up to level 6 or 7, which is the same as a university course. So, you know, a university degree. So why not take that and spend less money paying, and you can still be successful. There are many careers, you know, where people did not have to go to university. Many directors, company directors and managers, you know, they grew within the company, or they took short courses while working. And they took courses taking evening classes, for example. You know, we need to just encourage young people to research a bit more, and rather than telling them that university is the only path. I know personally quite a few people who have got to quite a high position without needing to go to university. I know a friend who went to university to study accountancy, and once she got a job and she's been working in the company for many years, she's not actually, you know, growing much in the company. And she said when she started this particular company, there was a young person, someone who was younger than her, but was her supervisor. She had a supervisor who was younger than her, but, you know, had a higher and better paid position, because that young person didn't go to university. They knew what they wanted to do. So they started and they worked in the company. They went through apprenticeship. They worked and studied within the company. And by the time they're 20, 23 or 25, you know, by the time, whenever it is that people usually finish their courses, you know, she had got to a really good position within the company. And it really annoyed my friend, because she said she spent so much time studying and, you know, going through a hard time and financial issues at uni, if she had only known that taking that other path could also lead to a well-paid job, she would have done that instead of being in debt. Because now you're working hard, even if when you earn good money, you still have that huge debt that you have to pay for. And it's such a weight on your back, on your shoulders, that you don't need and we can avoid. Another way of doing things, if you still really want to go, if you're a young person out there and you still want to attend university, once you finish school, once you finish secondary school, high school, whatever, it's maybe a good idea to go out there, because a lot of young people don't even know what they want to do in their life until they're actually, out there testing the waters. I think it would be a good idea to always encourage young people that before they sign up for university, they go out there and they experience different, they get experience for different jobs until they know exactly what they want to do. And then once you know what you want to do and you've had a bit of experience, you can then sign up for university. So perhaps we can start thinking that way. There's food for thought. I'm not saying don't send your child to university, but I'm saying it's not the only option. It's not the end of the world if you don't feel like university is your path. There are other ways, and we should start exploring more of these ways. And the best thing about that is that you don't have a huge debt once you're qualified. Please don't forget to sign up for Phoenix TV, subscribe and like the videos. And yes, don't forget to leave some comments, and I will see you next week. Thank you.
Yesu yo mokeli na nyoso. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Yesu Yesu yo mokeli na nyoso. Usala kilikolo na maele na yo. Usalinga moto na pesa yo nini na masusali na ngai. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Yesu Yesu yo mokeli na nyonso. Nanyango Yesu yo mokeli na nyonso. Ndeko na bankolo uzansambe malamu namoni te waza ilokola yo. Bana Israele kati na desert bayokaki nzala, okitisaki mana baliaki ye. Yango bayokaki posa ya mai, obimisaki mai na libanga bamelaki. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Yesu Yesu yo mokeli na nyonso. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Yesu Yesu yo mokeli na nyonso. Qui est comme toi parmi les dieux, ô Éternel? Qui est comme toi, magnifique sainteté, digne de louange, opéra de prodige, kumisama na yo, sanzolama na yo. Alléluia. Yesu Masiya azali nkolo. Ozana pomoyi. Namoni yo na libota na ngai. Namoni yo na pomoyi na ngai. Yawe Ozana. Ozana, alleluia. Ozana. 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 Ozana, alleluia. Ozana. 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 Esima na c'est toi qui dis un mot et la chose s'accomplit.